So you guys,
Man, pressure's on now.
that's right. Let's give him a call.
Okay, let's talk all the shit we want to talk about Ethan right now. He doesn't listen to the podcast anyway, Ben. So we're good.
Good.
Actually, I spent the weekend with him.
Hold your horses. I just walked in the door and peed.
Told
We
you.
went to the toilet first.
Matt called that.
Did he?
So good.
All right, I'll be right on.
Just
Oh my God, I'm definitely leaving that in the podcast.
opens the door and pees on the floor, running to his computer.
Yeah, seriously. Why? I mean, he could do it from his phone. That's what you're doing it from, right, Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so your phone does have a camera.
Oh,
but-
no. I'm using my PC. I use a TV for my monitor.
wait, how does it work?
I have HDMI and I just plug in a 55-inch TV to my computer.
You're like
sweet.
talking a foreign language to me. I don't know what that means.
HDMI, Colin.
Oh,
Come on, man.
HDMI. Got
Even
it.
my grandpa knows what that is.
Just took me a couple seconds. I got it now.
Yeah. We all know who handles the electronics in your household now.
Stella.
Yeah. Yeah. She did buy Amazon Music, like the premium version, the other day. She bought it on.
Good for her. She deserves it.
Yep. On the TV. Christine, my wife, was just letting her play around with it. Next thing I knew, I had an email and said, "Welcome to your new trial. After 30 days, if you choose to ignore this message, you will get charged a crazy amount of money. So good luck to you." It's like, great. Oh, man.
Yeah, I can't
There he
You can't let her get a
is.
taste for it.
Hey.
Hold on. Oh, okay. It froze. Now it's back.
Yeah, you froze.
Yeah, I actually had like a little bit of an it clown frozen face.
The
I-
intro to this podcast is going to be absolutely legendary, just so you know.
Absolutely what?
Legendary.
Legendary. Okay.
Well, you
Yeah.
didn't get what I said on tape. It just my Nostradamus prediction wasn't on tape.
What did you say I was going to say?
Exactly what you said.
Nice. And I see that Ben is here. Ben.
Hi, Ethan. I don't have
Hey,
a camera.
man. I know. I'm sad that I can't see your face, but
Yeah, you're
your,
good.
your voice is still good, too. I'm glad you're here, dude. Holy shit. It's been such a long time.
Very long time.
Yeah, fucking A. Now, did you guys already what have you talked about so far?
Just been
You-
shooting the shit.
You.
Talking
Not
about
being
me?
here yet.
Yeah, that makes sense. I kind of assumed that would be what was happening. Now, did we introduce Ben? Did we explain the backstory?
This is all you, buddy. All you.
me.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, did you have anything else you needed to talk about before we do that?
Just
Any
get right
intro
into
shit
it.
or whatever? What did he say?
I have
Just
no
get right into
idea.
it.
Just get right into it. No, I was
Matt's
asking.
pissed. He's like, let's go.
Yeah, well, look at this. My goodness. Okay, so our second official podcast guest is Ben Burr, Chef Extraordinaire, good friend of me and Colin, and now a friend of Matt. So the backstory is from 2013 to 2015. Colin and I lived together in the suburb where we grew up in outside of Syracuse, New York.
Not by choice.
Not by choice. And we were working at a restaurant together, which sadly no longer exists. And Ben was the executive chef at that restaurant, and so we became friends back in those days. And Ben can talk more, obviously, today about what he has been up to since and what he's doing now. I know he was going to talk a little bit, at least, about the restaurant industry, which I think would be super interesting given the current times, current situation. So that's basically it.
Before we launch into Ben, great wings. Great wings. I
Yeah.
have to say that.
We
Probably
did
every
have
time
good
I went to
wings.
Split Rock, that's what I got.
We
Uh-huh.
smoked those, didn't we?
I
Did
don't
we?
know. I don't remember, but like
I think we smoked them.
They were
whether it
good.
was me bringing a date there or me showing up at the end of the shift to hassle Ethan and Colin, always got the wings.
Yeah, they were good. Crispy. Yeah, those are good wings.
Hands down, my favorite place to cook, and when I was the happiest, I think, even now.
Even now, really.
Even now, as I look back on it, yeah, just
Holy
the
shit.
atmosphere that place had, and the food was great, and the team was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good spot to work. Absolutely.
But
it was all the people.
Yeah.
yeah,
We had a good
Sure.
team, definitely. And the regulars were cool too, you know. We had good regulars.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
yeah, those were good times.
but I never once thought that Colin would have a kid before anyone else.
We joke about that a lot, us three, because
Now
like
he's
Matt.
now he's not the shortest person in the house anymore.
Yes.
There it is.
Wow.
There it is.
Wow.
We knew it was coming. We knew
Come
it was
on,
coming.
Ben.
Love it. Yes,
And,
absolutely.
Colin, if you think about it, dude, from the ages of 8 to 13, your wardrobe's gonna double, dude. Think about that.
If I'm lucky.
Hopefully. Also, I have no idea how you tricked that wonderful, beautiful woman to live with you and like love you.
Isn't that wild?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Ethan still can't believe it. He used to give us that bullshit line about just wait until you're dating for 2.5 years, long distance, then come talk to me.
I did. Yeah.
Didn't you
Because
start dating at Split Rock?
Yeah,
while we
still
were
working
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was toward the end for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was when you picked up the second job. You were working. You were working Split
Fleet
Rock
Feet.
and Fleet Feet.
Right. That's how I met her. Yeah.
Was it 2014, Kyle, when you guys met?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, we met in 2013. We started dating in 2014.
Started dating in 2014. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the Grenadier Village Ethan Colin apartment had sitcom written all over. it.
Grenadier Village, dude.
Yeah, dude. Ben certainly thought so. Well, Ben would have been the snarky side man. I mean, every time we were working together, this guy was just fucking chirping all the time, constantly. Yeah.
You're making me blush.
Yeah.
Well, because you two were at first. I thought you were dating, and then like here's Ethan, who's like who like can like sing and dance and play any instrument you put in his hands, and is like clearly a genius like nerd. And then
That's right.
but then here he is holding his own, talking absolute nonsense with Colin about baseball and RBSs and PBSs and ABCs and I don't know.
Very good. Very good. Well done.
Yeah,
He's been listening to the sabermetrics for
I've been
Those
doing
are all
some
real
research before I got
Yeah.
on here. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
But
man.
just I don't know. I was like, and then you guys were best friends forever. It
Yeah.
seemed.
Yeah. We were just, even by that point, we had already been friends for like, what, 15 or so years. So at that point, we were already like an old married couple, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah. And of course, it's only gotten worse probably. But, so this is exciting. So, I mean, I don't need to like direct the conversation, specifically, but I do want to have Ben talk about the restaurant industry at some point. But before we do that, Ben, tell us like what you're currently doing. So I know, are you engaged or married now?
I've been married for 3 years.
Okay,
Hopefully
I
that's
could-
right.
yeah,
Edit that out if it's not.
Okay. I thought that was right. I was just making sure that I wasn't like mistaking the engagement and the wedding like in my head.
No.
Yeah,
Some
so
friend
that's
you
that's
are.
amazing. So now how is that? What does she do? Tell us a little bit about her, if she would be comfortable. Just a little bit. We don't need like deep bio.
I want
No.
the whole story.
I want to like what she
alright.
does, how you met, and I don't know.
Honey, I need your social security card real quick. She is a home health aide for adults with special needs.
Damn. Good. Okay, good for her. That's some admirable shit right there.
Yeah. So she has a couple individuals that she takes care of and that stuff. But she also is an artist. She has her own art page and draws stuff and makes foils and does art pop-ups. And
How could we find her art if we wanted
Yeah, I
to
would
find
say
it?
plug it.
Yeah,
I mean,
plug
not
it.
that we have a huge listener group, but plug it anyway.
Yeah.
I have to ask her what it is. Honey.
Uh-oh. He just was bragging about 3 years of marriage. Next
Right.
week, we're going to hear about the divorce. Now
Yeah,
he
exactly.
doesn't even
What?
know her art page.
I do. I just want to make sure I got it right. What's the name of your art page? Sage and Santo. See, I knew that. It's Sage and Santo. See?
Okay, sage, like the seasoning, the herb.
Yes. SAGE.
And
Yep.
Santo.
Santo. SANTO.
Got it. Sage and Santo. Okay, sweet.
I'll
So
put
we
it in the
can-
show notes for people. It'll be easy.
Okay. We can
Yeah.
look at your wife's art if we want to. Awesome.
I got a new house. I got lots of empty walls. I got to fill with stuff. So I'm
Yeah,
looking it up.
she's pretty talented.
That's awesome, dude. And where are you living and working these days? I think I see like occasionally on social. I think, are you at like a Phoebe's location?
I am.
Yeah.
It's Phoebe's restaurant. It's right across from the Syracuse stage. It's part of the Sherwood group. So the same person who owns the Sherwood as well. It's been around since like 1976 or something like that. And I've worked there off and on for a couple years. I left there once to go be the sous chef at Papagayo. And then I left there before that because there was this cooking job out in Watkins Glen that was at a motel with a pool, and it was like supposed to be really cool, and it totally wasn't.
Oh shit! Yeah,
it was an absolute nightmare of a time. But I left and came back, and then recently, after I left Papagayo, I went back to Phoebe's, which I was there 3 weeks, and then we got shut down because of the coronavirus.
Fuck yeah.
And then as restrictions started to lift and things started happening, it was really down. There was me and another sous chef, and it was either go for the head chef position myself or have someone get hired above me. So I just went for it because I'm not really down for working for somebody else unless they're the owner.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. And so now, how are things going recently? Are you guys with vaccinations and stuff? Is the restaurant at full working capacity at this point, or still looking for people to for staff and still opening fully? What's going on with all that?
It's crazy because the restaurant's open, our staffing is met. We're not as bad off as some places that I hear about.
Okay.
But we could use maybe one or two more. But we just opened for dinner this week. So that was huge because that's the first time we've served dinner in a year and a half.
Holy shit. Okay. Awesome.
We did lunches. We were open for lunch most of the summer and spring with just me and two other cooks. That was it.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Doing prep, the line, doing everything.
Doing everything, cleaning, all of it.
Jesus Christ. Okay. For those who don't know, I'm going to interject really quickly. We don't have that big of a listener group, but for our listeners, if we have anybody who's never worked in restaurants before, and Ben can talk more about this, restaurant work, if you're at like a busy restaurant, it's brutal. So be nice to anybody that you see in a restaurant, any servers, bartenders, cooks, whatever. Be nice, even if they fuck up, because mistakes happen. Restaurant work is really hard. It's really crazy busy, and cooks especially, chefs, I've always kind of felt this way. They work insane hours for not that much pay. Their multitasking that they do is fucking insane. I've worked a few different restaurant jobs over the years, and I always marvel at all of the chefs. It doesn't matter whether it's the executive chef or the person doing the salads and the desserts, whatever. These people are working their nuts off for hours and hours and hours on end with no stopping, multitasking. It's really impressive to watch. And so when Ben is talking about this and talking about what it was like during COVID with such a short staff, and even now with a lot of places that are short staffed, just keep that in mind, that running a restaurant and working in a restaurant is fucking hard. So don't be a dick.
What you said is like being underpaid. What a lot of people are hearing now is that people are lazy and don't want to go back to work. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
In the restaurant business, there's always been professionals who are going to do this for the rest of their life. And that even includes front of the house. I know professional bartenders that will probably bartend well into like their 60s and 70s.
Absolutely.
Line cooks too. But what you have happening right now is the professionals, it's not about the money. They're fed up. They're fed up with the bosses who don't listen, the chefs who don't listen, the hostile atmosphere, the sexist atmosphere, the dangerous atmosphere in some kitchens. And they're done. So the amateurs obviously don't want to work because they never worked in one before. And the professionals are just fed up. And honestly, most of them were burnt out when the pandemic hit. So that's why when quarantine happened, we were all kind of like, wow, cool.
Yeah, a relief.
Yeah, because, most restaurants go 7 days a week,
Yep.
Well, and at least to me, and maybe this is just what I'm seeing on the news, but it almost feels like people are even they're treating each other even shittier right now. So like, why would you want to subject yourself to that? Why would you want to be out there when people are screaming at you and being like, I don't know. I think Ethan's right. Everyone needs to work a service job.
I believe in that too. At least for like a month.
Yeah. Yeah. A month would be enough to get the picture. Yeah. Restaurants, retail, whatever.
There's a lot of people that couldn't even handle a day.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Kyle's right about that for sure. Yeah.
But even now in hiring, the team I hired on now, they're all from restaurants. They're all, veterans. They're professionals, and they like working in my kitchen because it's a calm atmosphere. We're polite, like there's no drama, like nobody's drunk, nobody's doing drugs, like,
yeah.
And they can't believe it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But honestly, the kitchen culture has been changing even before the pandemic. I'd say 8 years ago, I noticed it. Like, I mean, back in our day, it was the Wild West. Like, that's
yeah.
And especially when I was 26, I think, running Split Rock, dude. Like having my own place.
Yeah, young. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was definitely there for like the free food, the booze, the girls, and the good times, and let's do the work. You know what I mean? That kind of mentality. But as people have come up and grown up, one, you can't do that shit anymore. I can't drink and stay up till hours of night and just pop right back into my work suit and go off and cook the food,
Yeah.
And also drug use in kitchens because of the heroin epidemic,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
That hit the restaurant. That hit cooks, the restaurant business hard. You know how many cooks are heroin addicts?
Yeah, it's something that I always thought was like, like my brother was a dishwasher at a steakhouse over in Liverpool, and I thought he was joking for the longest time about like, oh yeah, like they offered me cocaine tonight again. Like, oh shit, like again, like oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like he told me, man, I'm not kidding. Like this happens. Holy crap.
Yeah, and
there was a time where that was fun.
Right, and for those who want to know more, there's a guy who unfortunately passed away a few years ago who's one of Ben's heroes and one of mine, Anthony Bourdain. I'm sure lots of people know of him. He got really famous for a book that came out, I think, in 2000 called Kitchen Confidential. So if anybody's curious kind of about this sort of restaurant life that Ben is talking about, check that book out. It applies, I would say, maybe even a little bit more to chefs because Bourdain was a chef, but really just restaurant work in general. People are fucking wild, especially when they're younger.
There's a new like unspoken rule in restaurants that if you go to use the employee bathroom and the door's locked, you kick the door in because chances are there's somebody ODing on the other side.
Holy shit. I don't know if that was an unwritten rule like in the Split Rock days, do you think?
No,
okay,
dude.
So this is like all recent.
Yeah, I didn't worry about that shit at Split Rock. No.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! Wow.
But and then it went off like a bomb. It's getting better now, but the pandemic didn't help. It's just restaurant culture has been changing for a while, and the problem is restaurant culture can change all at once, but the public has to change as well, man.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. That's where I think this is kind of good, where some people are kind of getting it in the being nice and just being like, hey, these people are here making my burrito. Like, that's awesome of them. And some people just aren't getting it. They just think, I need it. I want it. Give it to me. And if it's not right now, I'm going to throw a fit.
Cook my food slave. Like,
yeah,
exactly.
Fuck that shit. Like,
exactly right.
Cook it yourself. You're going to be like that. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I have a really relevant story about this too. Just last night, we went to a very popular barbecue joint here in Charlotte and had the worst service that I've had in a long time. You could clearly tell that the girl was struggling and just trying to do the best that she could and everything. But
I mean, I noticed that. I know as a waiter, you must just be like, like crossing all the X's, like all of them messing up. Like, nope. It's okay.
Yeah, right. And at the end of the day, like, all right, even if because we were in the industry, we already had the empathy for, these people. But even more so now, knowing how short-staffed they are, that they're more than maybe anyone else outside of the nurses and the doctors who are putting themselves truly out there on the line every single day. I mean, I bet you some of these people don't want to be doing this type of work, but they're in tough situations. So I mean, we ended up leaving her a tip more than 20% regardless, and hopefully that made her night. But
Absolutely.
it was just it just sucked, because it's like you go to a place like that and you want to have a great time, and if they're struggling, one of the better joints down here, how is anyone else surviving? That's what makes you think about it all.
Well, was the food good?
Yeah, food was great.
At least there's that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least there's that.
Well,
for sure.
And like, Ben, are you seeing this at your restaurant? Like, my brother and sister-in-law and I went out for Thai food a couple weeks ago, and for a relatively small order, it took more than an hour to get our food. But what we noticed, it's just the revolving door of delivery drivers coming through. I mean, they must have served 12 or 15 delivery drivers who are doing takeout orders between when we order. Like, so that's not helping either. The fact that there's just, DoorDash person, driver after driver after driver after driver after driver. So we were sitting there going, yeah, okay. Like, yeah,
that's really actually important, because it happened over, because we did Grubhub lunch. And there's nothing worse than getting 15 online orders, and it's not like you have a hostess at the door. If someone puts an online order in for 15 items, that's pretty much 15 people. We call in the business of 15 top. So that's 15 people that just came in the middle of your lunch rush that's already here. It throws a wrench right into the works, because I know it sounds insane, but having to make a burger and put it on a plate, and now you have to put it to go, it fucks it up, dude.
Yeah, because you get into a zone, right? I mean, you get into a rhythm, and because you guys at this point, you have all put in like so many hours.
Kitchens are made to run smooth.
Yeah, it's muscle memory, right?
It's muscle memory. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
And plus, on top of all that, don't Grubhub and DoorDash and all them take like a significant portion of the money?
A huge amount.
Damn.
I don't know. To me, like, if you're gonna put a 15-person order in, like, just call the restaurant yourself the day before. Like, geez, come on.
Or pre-order, yeah. But again, people think I put order in phone. Poof, food here.
Yeah. Like, I've had
nothing happened in between. Like, Jeff Bezos just brought it down with a drone and put your Thai food right there.
Right.
Nothing happened in between when you sent that order to when it came to your house.
Uh-huh.
Like, I've had to do that for work out here in Pennsylvania. Like, I had to order 100 Stromboli, and it's like I gave the guy a week. Like, I showed up a week in advance. Like, hey, I need to put a to-go order in. And he was like, oh man, like, what do you need? And I was like, 100 Stromboli for next week. And he was like, oh shit. Okay, let's talk this through. Like, yeah, like, help them help you.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I'm the only one here who's never been in the restaurant industry. So you guys feel free to tell me to shut the hell up. But
no, dude, you're exactly right. Everything you're saying. Yeah.
Having the closest I've got the service industry job that I worked was grocery store cashier.
And you worked Wegmans, you get it.
Yeah. That's still
also
nothing worse than having a grown man scream at you on Easter Sunday morning because he can't put toys on his EBT card. Like, I'm sorry, sir, I can't do that. I can just hit the button.
Yeah.
I'd like to take the toys, man.
Just take the toys.
Target can take the hit. They'll be fine. But it's further reaching than just so we've talked about the restaurant itself, and now we're going to keep building out. So now talking about Cisco and food delivery companies, they're struggling. They don't have drivers. Actually, at the plants, chicken has gone up to $100 a case.
Give us a basis of comparison for that.
So about before the pandemic, chicken was probably about $25 to $30 a case.
Holy fuck! Okay.
Yep.
Beef is up like 50 to 40%. Just for me to put the steak that I have at my restaurant on the plate cost me $15.
Okay.
Just the steak.
Yeah. Let alone not counting like the sides and whatnot.
Right. Yeah. And the reason they're having so much trouble is because there's no one to work in the rendering plants, which is a thing, to like cut the breast off the chicken. So it's being processed, but the breasts have to go somewhere special, have someone else do it. So a lot of times, like, we're running out of random stuff. Like, I couldn't get potato chips once.
Holy shit. And this is like, for our listeners, that pre-pandemic, that's like pretty much unheard of, right?
Unheard of. absolutely unheard of.
Yeah.
Ordering was the easiest, best part of my day because I got to walk around with a clipboard, write stuff down, punch it in, and it would come to my restaurant. Now I have anxiety every time I order something. Like, man, I really hope that comes in tomorrow. Otherwise, I have to rewrite the menu. I got to change. I have to change something, and I got to adapt.
Yeah.
So, and that's all restaurants right now. Just and even uniform companies, we can't get uniforms delivered because there's not enough people to like put those uniforms on the hanger at the warehouse.
Wow. Fucking wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we're it's I guess I shouldn't say I'm glad to hear this, but I'm glad it's not just us because we're seeing kind of similar stuff in the manufacturing environment for the same thing. That uniform company either messing up orders or not being able to service us, or some of our components companies just having problems with deliveries and with drivers.
It pisses me the fuck off that all these people are like, oh, if they took away unemployment, I bet people would work. It's like, no, people don't want to work at your shitty restaurant that's full of drama.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing, so like, that's
you're paying
such a
people
terrible
$13 an hour. Like, get out of here.
Yeah. The whole unemployment thing, is a terrible argument.
Scapegoat, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, I'm kind of loving it because in every restaurant I've been to, it's always been someone else's menu that I'm walking into that I was allowed to tweak or fix, and I was always trying to scale them down because menus used to be fucking huge, dude.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking it'll be good for the restaurant business to scale it down. Make
do
it a
fewer
menu
dishes, but do them better, right?
Exactly.
You don't need 40 burgers; you need 6.
Yeah.
Or not even 6, probably in a lot of
4,
places, right?
3. Yeah.
Not even.
Yeah.
We have 1.
Okay.
We have one burger.
Yeah.
But we have the making so you can make a regular burger, but
sure.
But the menu and also learn how to cross utilize. There's don't buy an ingredient for one thing.
Yeah, so it's forcing people to be more efficient, which is like a small silver lining, I guess, then.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Man, super interesting. Okay. What else? Yeah. Anything? Is there anything else, Ben, about any of that stuff? About any restaurant stuff that you had in mind? No pressure if not. Yeah.
No, it's because a bunch of the Blue Tusk closed. I don't know if you boys saw that.
Oh, Colin, I think. Yeah, Colin mentioned that to us. Yeah.
Right. And when it first closed, everyone, in the comment section was just, I can't believe this is happening. And then guess what? Another business bought it 2 days later. So if you see one of your favorite restaurants close that's been around for 75 years, maybe it was time.
Yeah. Fair enough. That's a good point. I like that.
You know what I mean? Stop thinking it's like this horrible tragedy. Like maybe it's time for someone new to go into somewhere and invigorate some things.
Yeah.
For non-Syracuse listeners, the Blue Tusk was a very famous craft beer and sandwich bar in downtown Syracuse. It was delicious and wonderful, and
their beers were overpriced.
It was overpriced, yeah.
It was overpriced, yeah. But I mean,
but the food was good, and they had a good beer selection.
It was a unique place, and the number of times I'd meet you guys down in one of those little cove booths and have a neat, unique beer was a lot of fun.
It was a place you could go and not have to worry about like Syracuse people. Can I say that on this?
Oh, no. You can. Do it, dude.
None of us live in Syracuse anymore. Go ahead.
Like you didn't have to worry about Syracuse douchebags and their button-up shirts. Like they wasn't corner bar. You know what I mean?
It wasn't Suds.
Exactly. You could actually sit and enjoy yourself without worrying about someone bumping into you and then starting a fight with you.
Love it.
It was a semi-adult place. But then it just got bought by the guy who runs Kasai, the ramen place that opened up.
Oh, I remember reading about that ramen place. Was Dave working there at one point?
Dave was working there at one point.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I had seen the name of it. Because ramen, of course, has gotten bigger and bigger in the last decade or whatever. I don't think in Syracuse, when we were at Split Rock, I don't think we had a dedicated ramen place, did we?
No, and I didn't think we ever could, dude. Syracuse is a tough place, dude.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised because
Do you remember that one time I did Blue Moon beer battered haddock on Fish Fry Friday? And instead of giving people a lemon, I wanted you guys to give them oranges because it's Blue Moon.
Yeah.
Dude, you would have thought I lit that town on fire. Dude, Jason, I had a meeting with Jason the next day. And
Jason was the owner of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So many comment cards, dude. It was the worst.
That's so fucking funny. I don't remember that specifically, but it does not.
Because I never did it again.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
I never did it again.
People are just so set in their ways. Oh my God.
Well, then when I worked at Papagayo, you're running gazpacho. I stopped doing gazpacho because I was so sick of heating it up in the microwave for people. I was done. Like my soul couldn't take it anymore.
But it's cold tomato soup.
Isn't it supposed to be cold?
Sake.
Yeah.
Gazpacho is supposed to be cold.
But people, were people asking for it warm all the time?
Yeah, they were shocked that we brought them cold soup, even though it says cold soup on the menu.
It's supposed to be cold.
Christ. Well, people don't read menus, Yeah.
And it's also 90 degrees in the summertime. Why do you want a piping hot soup out here?
Yeah, really. Yeah, seriously. Oh my goodness.
But it's been more, I don't know, breweries all over this place. Syracuse is growing, I think, culturally well.
Yeah.
Like Skinny Alice has a brewery. Everyone has a brewery nowadays.
Well, just throwing it out there, Ben. I may open a brewery one of these days, and I'm going to need cash flow from a restaurant to keep the thing going while I perfect our beer menu. So, I mean, I'm looking for connections. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there.
Future partnership. I can see it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome.
No, just kidding. But Colin still wants me to
but if you have money, feel free to give it to me, man. I wasn't
now,
making that.
Ben, you and your wife, what's her name again? Is it Courtney?
Courtney.
Now, are you guys thinking, not to like put you too much on the spot here, but are you thinking stay in Syracuse long term, or are you guys thinking that at some point when it feels natural, you might want to try a different location?
I don't know. I've always
I know I hard hitting questions.
No,
I know, right?
Cool.
Exactly. That's why I'm here.
I know I could go down south and get a job in an instant because I'm from the north. And
yeah, but who wants to live down south? Fuck that.
Dude, you're like a mile away from living down south.
You know what? Fuck. I always forget this. I count as the South, dude. Like Virginia is absolutely a southern state. It's below the Mason-Dixon line. I live 2 hours away from the fucking the city that was the capital of the Confederacy. Dude, I live in Northern Virginia. I live just across the river from Washington, D.C., okay? And literally, so for those who don't know, I'm a music teacher, and I drive to my students' homes to teach lessons. It's 2021. It's Northern Virginia, which in 2021 is a super diverse, super progressive place. I still drive all the time on the Lee Highway and the Jefferson Davis Highway, okay? For those who don't remember their history, Jefferson Davis was the president of the Confederacy, and Robert E. Lee was the head general of the Confederacy. For those who also don't remember their other stuff about their history, the Confederacy is the one entity in all of American history that was like truly guilty of treason on a wide scale, okay? So if there's anybody listening who like does this whole thing about respecting history and being nice to the Confederacy, you really need to re-examine your entire life, okay? But anyways,
why don't you just pull over and piss on the road?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
but
our Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee listenership just plummeted.
Gone. They disappeared. I'm waiting for a 1-star review to come to be like that guy with the nasal voice. He's such an asshole or something. I'm totally waiting for that.
That guy who's always ranting.
That guy who's always ranting. Fuck that dick. 1 star. But anyway, sorry. I did not mean to do that. I totally ran away with things. It wasn't a plan. It just happened when I realized that I live in the South, because I still get upset when I realize that I live in the South.
It is weird.
It's a trigger.
I'm 5
every
miles
morning
from the
just
Mason-Dixon line. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like it's weird.
Yeah, you are close, Matt. I always forget that.
I essentially live on the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that is strange because you don't think of Pennsylvania as being a southern state or even close to a southern state.
I don't think of Maryland as being a southern state.
Right, but it's the border, right? It's the Maryland-Pennsylvania border.
Yeah.
That's the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really weird. So anyway, sorry, let's go back to where we were. So Ben, you were talking about you could go down south if you wanted to and you could get a job really easily. But it
Or
kind of
apparently
sounded
fight the Confederacy with you if you
or
want to, man.
or fight the Confederacy. But it kind of sounds like you're pretty content then in Syracuse.
I
It's kind of
haven't
what it
been a
seems
head
like.
chef for 1 year. I've been head chef for probably about 5 months.
Yeah. How long
I'd
was
like
it at Split Rock that you were head chef?
a year and a half. I would
Okay.
say.
So cumulatively you have a decent amount.
Yeah, what I really want and where my heart really lies is the food truck.
The food
That's
truck. I was going to ask about that because that was another thing I remember seeing on social for a while. You were doing that was like your dedicated thing for a while. Was a food truck in Syracuse, right?
well, I started the Salt City food truck
You started it. Okay.
with Aaron Ames out of Aaron Evans.
Oh, holy shit, that's awesome. Okay.
That's why I left Papagayo the first time, was to go run that.
Yeah.
And it was a blast. It was fast paced and fun. And the best part about it was I got to write my own menu and I got to serve my own menu. And if something was wrong, the customer themselves would come talk to me and I'd work it out. There was no like Algonquin round circle for, well, was this going to be okay? Do you think this is too much? No, it's my shit. Like,
Yeah.
and just that confidence that I had in the food truck. Also, I like the food truck because it makes you limit your menu so much.
Yeah.
And then at the fair, we competed the first year. It was the first year they had a food truck competition. And that's where the first year that was ever won, the food truck that won it was the Silo food truck out of Ithaca, New York. The guy who runs it, Jesse Steve. He's an incredible genius, food wizard, welder, mechanic. He's a gnome. He's a magical fairy person that exists.
Awesome.
And I worked on his food truck, and the way he does things and how he did it and the flavors that he combined it like blew my mind. So in my heart of hearts, I don't think I ever have to move. I would just like to own my own food truck, to like get my own stuff out there with my own ideas and nobody else's,
That's awesome. Okay. Very cool.
Because a lot of times in restaurants, I contend with the last chefs, what did he order? What did they put on the menu and all that. But
Yeah. Well, and I'll just a quick interjection. So for anybody who's hearing this and wondering like why Ben is kind of being pretty passionate about this idea of doing things the way that he wants and being sort of just the direct interface with the customer, is because in like a regular restaurant. Now, Colin and I, we were both servers. So I'm not trying to insult servers, but with a full restaurant, it's complicated, right? You have the customers, you have the servers in the middle, then you have the chefs. And as we've kind of established, people are fickle and impatient and blah, blah, blah. And so a lot of times you might have something on the menu, but you're going to have a customer who's like, okay, I want this, but I want it without those 3 things, and I want to add these 2 things, and then can you bring the dressing on the side? Right? So there are all these tiny little details that are constantly being modified on so many dishes. And that's another thing that sort of adds to the complexity of running a restaurant. So this idea that Ben's kind of talking about with like the food truck is it's sort of like kind of purified, I guess is kind of the word that comes to mind, where it's like, here's what we got. There's a few things. It's me, I'm the chef, and boom, here you go, and that's that. And I can see chefs, I think, and Ben, you can tell me whether or not you agree with this, but I feel like a lot of chefs who are like the true professionals, who are the true lifers, they view it as kind of an art form. They view their cooking and they view food as an art form. So think about any artist, right? Any artist is going to want to present their product undiluted to the public. And so you can see how for a chef, having that sort of freedom and independence would be like super appealing. Does that sound right, Ben?
yeah, and also don't go out and think that the menu is a suggestion list of ingredients. Make your own dish, not like it, and then give us a bad review.
Yeah. Seriously.
Don't be that person.
Well, yeah. I remember like when it finally happened to me, like the change in mindset, like, oh, okay, the chef did this on purpose. It probably tastes really good that way. I'm just going to order it that way. Like,
yeah.
And that's
trust
why
their expertise. They're the pros.
Yeah, like that must taste good. Okay, I'm going to do that.
But
like,
I'm also not I think the biggest turning point for me was I floundered as a sous chef for a long time. I was a sous chef for like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
I didn't want to take that next step because I'd been there and gotten burned a billion times. Plus, owners don't fire line cooks; they fire chefs.
Right.
It's a much more stressful position. The sous chef is kind of the good position. You know, you fill in the gaps for the chef. You know, you make his life easier, which in turn makes your life easier, and it all trickles down.
Yeah.
But I didn't want it for a long time, and then when I took it at Phoebe's, I just told myself that I'm taking my ego right off the plates. I'm not cooking for me, I'm cooking for people. So what do people want? And that's a big thing that I think some chefs struggle with. They think that they're so good that you have to eat their food. It's like, come on, man, don't tell me how to eat. Like, so you got to walk the line between, you know, being too pretentious and being open.
Yeah.
And also giving people, making them try things in stages. Like, you can't just, you know, make them eat head cheese and be like, oh, why don't you like it? It's a delicacy. I love it.
Yeah.
Like,
At Split Rock, I remember because, like, so you and Dave, so Dave, I mentioned earlier, he was the sous chef at Split Rock during our time there, and him and Ben, I can remember, you know, kind of collaborating and putting their heads together and thinking about things, and I remember you guys doing that even then, being gradual about it, right? It wasn't, because Split Rock was, you know, kind of a typical kind of easy American food for the most part. But you guys wanted to try some different stuff, but it's not like you just all of a sudden were like, bam, here's 10 new dishes that are totally different. It was like,
right.
We have some specials this week that are a little bit different. And then maybe on the menu, we're changing one or two things at a time every month or couple months or whatever.
Yes,
so,
because I'm a firm believer that the menu is where specials go to die. You can make an amazing special. The owner loves it. Everybody loves it. You throw it on the menu. You don't sell one.
That's super interesting. Okay.
I like to play taps for him as I take him off the menu.
I mean, we've got a great trumpet player here who could do that.
That's right. I'll make a little
that?
recording of it. I'll make an app. You can just download the app of me playing taps, and it'll be specifically for when restaurants are editing their menus.
I mean, but for that reason, like, I also, when I see, like, I'm seeing more and more on menus now, like we politely decline substitutions or add-ons. Like,
yeah,
cool. Like, all right, I'll tell you if I don't want a tomato on there, but I'm not going to say, like, we'll take the tomato off, but add 7 strips of bacon. Like, no. Okay, I'll tell you no tomato, and that's it. Like, okay, fine, done. Like,
yeah, and some things that are just garnish, you can pick them off yourself. You're an adult. Like,
that too. Exactly.
Yeah. You can slide it off. It's not like that little bit of tomato juice is going to kill you.
Oh my God, another Split Rock story. Remember when I to build the burgers, I put the pickle on top of the bun and the big steak through it? Remember
yeah.
That I remember.
Remember that lady flipped her lid because we put the pickle on top of her bun.
You know what? I do kind of remember that, actually. That's funny because I don't remember many things from those days. But yeah, holy shit, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
God forbid I try. You know?
For like presentation, it looks good. You know, you have that.
Bomb, dude. I want to eat that. Like, also, if you know, it's not like it was sitting in the window for 15 minutes. Literally, I put that pickle. And she's like, now my bun's gonna taste like pickle. It's like, you're just gonna eat the burger and eat the pickle. Like, what the?
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
I don't understand the disconnect.
Oh man, awesome. So what else we got? Was there any other? This is not to dismiss Ben. Ben, I'd love if you want to, if you have time to stay on until the end, even if we do a couple non-kitchen things, but totally up to you if you need to get out of here. Were there any things though, Colin, that we had on the docket that we need to talk about?
I've got 500 homers for Miggy. Talk about that. And I got a couple baseball things if we want to run through those.
Couple baseball things. Ben,
I don't know
do
if
you
Matt's
want
got
to?
anything though?
No, thank you guys. It was actually a really awesome way to catch up with you guys. And
that's what I was kind of hoping for. Yeah, exactly.
I am friends with you on Facebook, so I do see your comings and goings from afar.
Yeah.
And I'm always rooting you guys on. And
likewise, yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, this has been super fun. If you want to come back on at some point, I'd love to have you. Just so fun chatting and catching up. So
yeah, send us some pics of the food too, and we can put it on social media with all the other stuff that we'll put in the show notes. But we can always send. I know you used to like to take pics, so just send some along, and we can put them on.
Next time I come home to Syracuse, I'm going to Phoebe's.
Yeah, I will too. Actually, I would like to do that.
Well, let's knock on wood that I'm still there.
We'll go wherever you are then.
I'll track your food truck down.
Yeah.
Ben just cooks out of his house now.
Hey, if I show up to your house with an empty plate,
I will fill it.
There you go.
Yes.
I also don't drink beer, but I got plenty of rum. So you,
Hey,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, rum guy. Yeah.
I may puke on your patio. Just warning.
Matt does have a thing for that. Yeah, that's
Especially people he
tradition.
just met or adults in general, I guess.
Yeah,
so
yeah, just
good
throwing
first
up on patios.
impression.
Exactly.
Well, how is
Uh,
he going to find his way home? He's got to know where he's been before. Oh, yeah, I puked.
Exactly. Well, I mean,
True.
I guess I can tell the first patio story tonight. You want me to jump into that right now, really quickly?
Yeah, you can tell that story quick.
So we were after our freshman year of college, Ethan moved away.
Yeah, my family
Very, very
moved to
sad.
Connecticut. Yep.
Moved to Connecticut.
Nice.
So Colin and myself and two of our other friends, Mary and Katie, as well as Colin's younger brother Timmy, all hopped in the car and we drove out to South Windsor, Connecticut to hang out with Ethan. And
How old are you guys? 21, 20?
We would have been like 18. This was after freshman year of
18,
college.
19,
Yeah,
yeah.
18,
Okay.
19.
So
Not
so
legal
I
to
mean,
drink
my
Not legal
mom
yet.
called Sherry
Yeah.
Ertz and was like, "Hey,
Our parents
Like,
didn't care. Yeah.
yeah,
Right,
they
you're college
talked
kids,
it through.
right?
The
Yeah,
parents
exactly.
talked it through. Like we had a case of Blue Light. We had
Oh.
a couple 6-packs of Mike's Hard Lemonade and a
These
6-pack of
Smittix.
Smittix
Got
ale.
Smittix.
something for the
because-
girls, right? The like,
Yeah,
Mike's,
exactly.
Mike's Hard for the girls and
That's
Smittix
right.
for Matt
Yeah.
because I thought I was sophisticated drinking Smittix
Uh-huh.
Right.
and
How
and a
wrong
bunch
were
of
you?
chicken wing dip.
Mhm.
And
That's right, chicken
I don't
wing
know. I've got this problem, which it's never been a competition. But you get 2 or 3 beers in Matt, and Matt decides that he's got to prove to Ethan and Colin how much he can drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever succeed?
I mean, I prove to them all the time.
Yeah,
over
he
and
can,
over
he
and
can
over and over
outdrink.
again.
Outdrink us easily for whatever reason. He
Yeah.
feels the need to show it every time.
To
yeah.
the point where Ethan and Colin tell me like, "You don't need to do this," and I'm like chugging, like, "Oh." So the second night we're out there, I mean, there's incriminating footage of us like air guitaring to the Eagles and just chugging beer, and I must have gone to the bathroom like 7 or 8 times, which is funny because every time I went to the bathroom, I had to like walk in front of Ethan's mom and dad as they're watching TV and just be like, "Excuse me, I'm going to the bathroom." Like, so I end up falling asleep in their little sunroom outside.
I thought you were going to say
And-
the toilet.
Oh, no. It's in the sunroom. And then at like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., I wake up in the middle of a thunderstorm and just like wander outside and just blow chunks all over the garden of Jim Ertz, the wonderful garden and patio of Jim Ertz, which was right beneath a balcony outside the master bedroom in their house.
So the first thing they probably wake up every day, they look right over that balcony, look at their garden, appreciate
Yeah,
it.
they could probably just see it. Like in my mind, I hope that the rain was heavy enough that it washed away all the, but it didn't. It didn't. I mean, there was probably just Smittix beer and Sour Patch Kids and chicken wing dip just all over the garden.
It's good. What's that?
And it was extreme
Good for
enough
plants.
that I
I'm sure
mean,
there's
like
nutrients in
I
there.
wandered back in
Right.
and like shut the door and curled up on the little. It was one of those like circular sunroom
Papasan
chairs.
chairs?
Yeah.
I think it is like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
The big egg
that's why I
ones
curl
that
back
you
up.
could, like,
Yeah.
And Ethan's dad, Jim, maybe 5 minutes later, just comes downstairs, opens the door to the strong room, and just looks at me and goes, "You okay, Matt?" And I go, "Yes, sir. Thank you." It's
Yeah.
just like fall back asleep. Oh man. So either I woke them up or he knew what was going on, but I appreciate him checking on me. I did come clean to him at Colin's wedding and told him like, "Hey, like like I puked all over your patio that night," and he just gave me like the most deadpan like, "No shit."
Yeah.
Like, of course you did. Look, which was wonderful. And I love Ethan's parents, and it was wonderful. And I didn't have to pay any repercussions for potentially destroying their garden or their plants.
It was
but
lucky because it was thunderstorming, so the rain
Yeah.
mixed it off, I
there were
think.
lots of rain.
Yeah.
How were the cucumbers that year, Ethan? A little tangy?
Little tiny. Oh God. Oh, that's horrible.
right,
There's
boys. Well, thank
another
you, thank you,
patio
guys.
story. I'll wait till the next
Yeah.
time.
Thank
I'll
you.
tell the other patio story.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
future.
Definitely. Thank you so much for being here, Ben. We love
Yeah, no
you.
problem.
Thanks for coming. We hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, later, guys.
Thanks,
All right,
Benny
see
boy.
ya.
I told
Sorry.
patio story number 1.
Yeah, then there are more. Right, we'll have the sequels in
Yeah.
future pods. I think definitely.
Yeah, dude, Ben was awesome. I'm kind of sad I never actually met him.
Yeah, he's the man. He's a great
Like,
guy.
he may have. Might have talked to him with you guys, but I feel like I never actually met him. Which
Yeah,
is
it's
sad.
possible he like poked his head through the window at times when you were there when it was slow and things like that. But yeah, I mean, he was a big part of why, like he was mentioning with Split Rock, how we had a really good team in this really good environment. He was a big part of that. Like the executive chef really helps to set the tone for that. You know, if he was like a massive dick, it would not have been the same.
Yeah, and I mean the only insight I've got is either through you guys or like my brother worked at Tully's and then he worked at Colorado Mine Company, and again like restaurants do such a good job through the front of the house and the servers to like present this wonderful image of like we've got everything under control and like
Right.
here's your food and this is fancy and
That's the job, yeah.
and
Keep
like
it on the pretty face, yep.
you learn about it, you go, oh shit, like these guys are firefighting every night.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're whether it's staffing issues or supply issues or food issues or unruly customer issues,
Or just your life. I used to tell people that like sometimes when you're front of house, when you're a server or a bartender, you're practically like an actor. Like I've had shifts. I was working at a restaurant during a nasty breakup, and I literally had to go to work the next day and be a server. I couldn't be fucking like mopey and cranky. I wouldn't have gotten like any tips at all. Like you kind of have to be able to act. You know, it's an interesting
now it is funny though because when you do go to restaurants with Ethan or Colin, they will kind of like mutter under their breath like they should have checked on us by now, or like, hey, a good server would have asked about this, like because they know the ins and outs. But again,
just because of professionalism thing. Yeah,
but you're forever polite. You're forever professional.
And we still tip well, like Colin was saying. Yeah, like even if they suck, we'll still tip 20% or more. But yeah, when you've done it and when you took it seriously, like Colin and I did, even though we're not lifers, as far as I'm concerned, anybody who's worth their salt, even if it's a temporary gig, take it seriously and do it as well as you can. And so when we go to restaurants, you kind of know what the top level stuff is. So
basically, have some empathy. Like,
yeah, that's the big thing. Definitely, that was super
sucks.
fascinating. I'm glad Ben came on and talked about a lot of that because obviously I've been out of the restaurant game for a while, and it was just super interesting to hear, you know, what it's been like for somebody who's in that and has been in that since before COVID, through COVID, now. And Matt, you made a super interesting point that I actually hadn't thought about. With like all of the delivery services with your DoorDashes and Uber Eats and all that, because you figure during COVID that was probably a lifeline. Restaurants were probably like relying on that, but now it probably is brutal when you have people going in person, but you still probably have a lot of people doing that. So that's got to be a really serious challenge. So
yeah, I swear at that Thai restaurant there was maybe 3 people working. There was someone in the kitchen, the manager, and someone running all the tables, and it was one of those like yeah, okay, we had to ask a couple times for her to refill our water, but when you sit there and you watch just delivery driver after delivery driver just come through the door in a situation where they're already understaffed, like we sat there and went like, okay, we can see what's going on here. This sucks, and yeah, I wish I had my food now, but okay, I get it.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is we still tipped well because when our food came out, it was fucking delicious. Like, yeah. But it's also one of those things like I'm not going to order takeout from there if I can. Like, I'm not going to exacerbate that problem.
Right.
You know, or if I do, I'm going to go to the restaurant and order it to go instead of actually ordering through a service because, you know, number one, I don't want them to lose the cut. And number two, I don't want to be part of the problem. I want to just get my Thai food and go. So
yeah, definitely.
Man, this has me wishing we could all meet in Liverpool right now and go to Bangkok Thai right now.
You know,
rock and roll, baby.
It's rock and roll. It's under new ownership. I wonder if it's still.
I have gone since it's been under new ownership. It was delicious.
All right, awesome.
Yeah,
well, vibe is a little bit different because rock and roll is not there, but
yeah, a little bit different. They changed the beer menu a little bit too, but I went and got lunch there one of the times I was home and was still happy.
Okay, nice. That's awesome.
And I was extra happy because I went to the other place, appetizing or whatever it was, and down the street from Nick, and they didn't have pad see ew on the menu, which was just it broke my heart.
Yeah, that's
my go-to
like
Thai.
Same
Thai,
with me. Yeah, that's on like every menu. Interesting.
And I've taken after you, by the way, Ethan. Every time I I order it now. I order extra vegetables.
Do you? Yeah. I like, because a lot of times the standard pad CU, they'll just do like maybe broccoli or like one veggie, but
you
it's
get
nice
like
if you can
4
get a
pieces
few.
of broccoli, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, like, give me
Yeah.
that broccoli and that sauce.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Give me that broccoli.
always order the veggie dip, like whatever I'm ordering, like the veggie one, and then I'll add the meat because they always give you more veggies. Like if you just
Yeah.
order
That's
the
smart.
veggie version.
Yeah, absolutely.
Toddy taught me that. I won't take credit.
As
All
my
right,
Uncle
Toddy,
Jim would
Toddy.
say, you got the broccoli. His broccoli song. Got the broccoli.
song. All right, I like it. That's it's short and to the point, but I like it. It's it's not wasting any time. It's economical. That's
I
a
mean,
good song.
yeah, I don't know if I've talked to you guys about this, but for like a year and a half of my life, we lived with my uncle. Like from when my dad got out of the service until we moved into our house in Liverpool.
Oh, I don't know if I knew this.
Yeah, like there was, we moved in with my uncle. So it was the bachelor pad. He would make bachelor pad chicken, which was just chicken with Mrs. Dash on it. He loved his broccoli, and the only VHS tape he had in the house was Wayne's World. So that's like a good year of my upbringing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
My
What was
brother
the
and I
broccoli
shared.
song again?
You got the broccoli.
You got the broccoli. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, I'm gonna start singing that to myself. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, that was, and back then I didn't like broccoli, but now it's like every time I get it, you got the broccoli. So yeah,
Everyone who hears this.
we lived with my Uncle Jim in the North Syracuse for a year and a half. And, it's crazy because like the week that my dad saved up all of his paid leave time with the Air Force. And like the week that his paid leave time ran out was the week that he got his job at Bennett Funding. So it just worked out cool. It was again, it was one of those really weird times in your life, but I never knew it. Like I shared a room with my brother. We hung out with my Uncle Jim. We would have bachelor pad sessions where we would write our own lyrics to Van Halen songs and look at car magazines and chew dentine gum. Like he had his briefcase and he always had car magazines and cinnamon dentine gum in his briefcase. And holy shit, I could never ask for anything more. That was, some of the best times of my life. So
Awesome.
Anyway,
Awesome.
reminiscing Matt here.
I think on this
I love it.
episode, people have learned more about the three of us than probably any of the other episodes,
That's fine. That's fine.
I think so. I
or
think
even
that's
all
right.
of them combined.
Oh,
Up to this
yeah.
point.
Yeah, we haven't really talked much about like personal lives and history. We've been mostly just like baseball and beer. Which, speaking of, do we want to hit a couple baseball things quick before we go, or do we
What
want
are you guys
till...
drinking?
Oh,
Ethan, you do Mosaic Week, right?
I'm having a Mosaic Week beer. So, so there's a brewery called Other Half, which is one of the most famous breweries in the country. They started in Brooklyn, and when was it? Like a year ago, maybe they opened a DC location.
2 years ago, probably.
Has it been that long? I don't.
Yeah. It was pre-pandemic.
It was pre-pandemic, but it was after I moved here. So, and I've only been here for 2 years as of right now.
Okay.
So less than 2 years. But in any case, they just did a thing called Mosaic Week where they were highlighting the Mosaic hop. And so Matt and I split a 24-pack of all the Mosaic Week beers, which there's 2 of each of them, so we each got 1. And what I'm having tonight is Big Mosaic vibes, and it's fucking delicious.
Yeah, it's great.
It's probably going to get a 5 from me on Untapped, and I'm pretty picky about my 5s these days.
It was well done. It was really good.
It's really good. Yeah.
That's one of the ones I had when I was down there with you.
Yeah. Oh, it's really good. Yeah.
Colin, what do you got? Hoppy Kaye?
Hoppy Kaye from Lone Rider Brewing Company. Something my brother Dan brought. I think it's from the Raleigh area.
Nice.
Ethan, I drank that vanilla stout that we were talking about.
Yeah, and
Delicious.
yeah,
Hourglass Imperial Stout with vanilla. So that was mine for the night. So
awesome.
that West Coast. This is someplace up in Oregon, I think. But
Lone Rider is in Raleigh. I just checked.
Washington State. So really, really good one. I'm surprised I let myself sit on that one as long as I did, but it was fantastic.
Nice, awesome. Colin, up to you. I think you guys started a little bit before I hopped on, so it's probably been a little over an hour. Do you want to talk baseball, or do we want to?
We can do a lightning round real quick.
Let's do a lightning round. Yeah.
First, Matt, show me your shirt. Give me. A smile.
Yeah, we got Toppling Goliath Brewing Liquid Hops. It is their Hop Patrol series of
nice
of beers. That they don't do as much about it anymore. But Toppling Goliath, just to let you guys know, Decorah, Iowa, they released one of the most sought after beers in the whole country. It's called Kentucky Brand Brunch Stout. I've been lucky enough to win the lottery for that twice, which is fantastic. It's a 12-ounce bottle. It goes for $100.
Jesus,
it's delicious. And yes, I have driven to Iowa twice to pick up that beer. But it's this. I mean, when I got this shirt for free when I visited them, and it was their first iteration of the brewery. It was like in an old Pizza Hut or something like that, some really old, really weird restaurant. And they gave this to me for free because they said I was really nice.
Heidi would be so happy.
She would be. Yep, exactly. That's what
I mean, I also ordered like $200 worth of beer, but
I was gonna say the least they can do is give you a fucking T-shirt if they're asking $100 for fucking 12 ounces of beer.
Well, this wasn't then though. This was way before then. This was like 5 or 6 years before then.
Gotcha.
I just ordered a bunch of IPAs, and they're like, "You're really nice. What's your T-shirt size?"
That's cool. All right.
So now they've got this massive complex. They're awesome. It's pretty cool. I recommend if anyone's in Decorah. It's about 2 hours south of Minneapolis or 2 hours west of Madison, Wisconsin.
What was it called? It was a Toppling Golf?
Toppling Goliath.
Toppling Goliath. Toppling Goliath.
It's in the northeast corner of Iowa in a small town called Decorah.
Okay, sweet.
They're awesome.
I'll do one real quick. I'm wearing my Josh Ritter T-shirt. Josh Ritter is a favorite musician of mine, a singer-songwriter. He's brilliant. He's wonderful. If you've never heard of him, go watch his Tiny Desk concert. 3 of his more recent songs, they're brilliant, and they are just perfect and poignant for the times that we are living in. He's really great.
And then, yeah.
Kobe, uh-huh.
Today would have been Kobe's birthday.
Oh, is that right? Okay. All right, fair enough. Happy birthday, Kobe. That's sad.
Yep.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Jesus,
All right.
seriously.
Here's what we're going to do to end this out. I have 4 topics in baseball. 3 of them, we're going to do the lightning round real quick. I just want you to give me, I'm going to tell you what the topic is. You give me your first reaction to it.
Okay.
And then we'll top it off with Miggy and the 500 homers.
Okay.
All right. First one. Matt, you go first with this one. And then Ethan goes. The Colorado Rockies have one of, if not the best home record in Major League Baseball. What do you think about that?
Home field advantage. I don't care if they've got the humidor there. They've got the best hitters ballpark in all the league. So of course they're going to be better when they're home.
Yeah. I think they've tried to fix cores, right? But it still seems to be a relatively volatile ballpark. I mean, we talked about Trevor Story's splits, and they're insane. He's so much better at home. So yeah, doesn't seem that surprising. They probably just really, really benefit from that park.
I was just surprised when I was looking at the standings because they are way out of contention.
I was going to say, I would not have guessed that. One of the best home records in the majors.
Yeah. If not the best.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. It's very close. I think they had 42 home wins going into yesterday.
43. Damn. Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
They have the best home record.
So they must be garbage on the road then.
Yeah. Real bad.
Yeah.
14 and 45 on the road.
Oh
holy
my God.
Crap, that's bad.
That's like
the Baltimore
Orioles.
Orioles.
Opposite. That's fucking crazy.
Good catch, Colin. Holy shit.
That's funny. All right, what's next?
All right. San Francisco Giants, first team in Major League Baseball to 80 wins this season. Ethan, what do you think about that?
It's a shocker. Nobody expected it, but it's cool. It makes for a good race in the West. We all expected the Dodgers and the Padres to be this really, really tight race, but the Padres have actually been slipping, and the Giants have been the best team in the bigs all year. Hopefully the Padres pick it back up, and then we have a three-way exciting race in the West. But those kind of surprises are always fun.
Yeah, just the opposite of Coors Field, one of the most pitcher-friendly parks in the whole damn league. Shout out to my friend Nader Fatui for talking about park factors and about how, not to go off the track too much, but if Barry Bonds was playing anywhere else other than the Giants, he probably would have had another 30 or 40 home runs because of how that park is set up. But yeah, out of nowhere, remember, 4 or 5 years ago, it seemed like every other year they were in contention. They were not expected to be competitive at all this year. So good for them. Someone needs to take the Dodgers down a notch. So good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, here's the thing, though, and I think I said this last podcast: the Dodgers still win a 7-game series.
Oh yeah, I mean,
because the pitching.
Look at 538 in their team rankings. Like the Dodgers are still the number one favorite for the World Series right now.
They're fucking so stacked. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Even without Bauer, their rotation is still insane. Kershaw, Bueller, Scherzer. I mean, are you fucking kidding?
I mean, Ethan, without Bauer, would you say that's a Bauer outage?
Jesus Christ!
I can't believe his name. I can't believe his name finally made the podcast.
That's everyone.
Yeah, that's
right. That's Trevor Bauer's Twitter handle. So
yeah, his Bauer outage. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll address Bauer someday. It's
one of these
kind of messy.
It's coming.
We should still wait for the investigation to play out, I think. But
yeah.
Anyways, what's next?
All right. Coming into today, the New York Mets have 63 losses. In order for them to win 90 games, they would only be allowed to lose 9 more times the rest of the season. I just think it's fucking hilarious.
That is hilarious.
3 of those losses are going to come against the Yankees in a couple weeks. Yeah, baby.
That is hilarious, and it's hilarious because like they have been trying. I mean, they signed fucking Lindor to a massive deal. They traded for Baez. Like, obviously DeGrom is hurt, but they have like the best pitcher in the world. Like, they've been trying, and they still suck. Fucking Mets. That's amazing.
So good, especially like with all the Steve Cohen stuff. And like,
well, yeah, he's a piece of shit. So
but they were like, oh, the Mets are gonna take over the Yankees, and
hilarious.
Come on, it's always gonna be like the Clippers and the Lakers in that town.
Yep.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
Also, what did you think about Larry Rothschild getting canned?
This is actually something that we should spend more time talking about on a future pod. I'd be really curious to talk about this. So the idea of coaches and how much of an impact they have in baseball, it's one of these things that's really, really hard to quantify. I feel like you shouldn't really rely on the statistics that much in this case, which is strange because I'm all about the statistics. But my thought is that in this kind of case, what if they're firing Rothschild, for those who don't know, Rothschild was he just recently was fired. He was the pitching coach for the Padres, and their pitchers have been struggling. As far as I'm concerned, you shouldn't blame the coach for the failure of the players, really, which is what we talked about with the Yankees, I think, a few episodes ago. The issue then would be whether the players have that rapport and have that confidence in the coach, and I wonder if that had sort of crumbled. Yeah. It might not have, because they might love Rothschild, and it might just be that's an easy scapegoat. When your pitchers are sucking, you just fire the pitching coach and you get some new blood in there and you hope it works. And
counterpoint, though.
Yeah.
For every year except one with the Yankees, they were either the 13th, 14th, or 15th in terms of ERA. And I can't remember if it's in the AL only or in the whole league.
It's interesting,
but the article didn't skip the fact that some years the Yankees gave Rothschild a pretty bare cupboard there, but they were consistently bad in terms of ERA under Rothschild.
So this
with the exception of 1 year.
Yeah, and we'll have to talk about this more another time. But like CC Sabathia, really famous retired pitcher who pitched for the Yankees for a long time, he has his own podcast, and he's talked before. Like, he loved Larry. And so that's what it's like.
Larry.
Yeah, loves exactly. Yeah, still loves him. Yeah. So that's the interesting part, right? So Matt, I didn't actually know those numbers. So like the Yankees pitching rotation was pretty mediocre while Rothschild was the Yankee pitching coach. But CeCe, who was our ace, who's one of my favorite Yankees of my lifetime, fucking loves him. So how do you kind of look at that? It's interesting. But
yeah. Well, that was the bonus segment. So let's top this off. 4 or 5 minutes. Miguel Cabrera, who, at least in my opinion, I think all 3 of us think that Miggy has been one of the most exciting players of our lifetime. It just hit his 500th homer yesterday. Took him a while to get there, but he did it. Next year, he's going to get to 3,000 hits. And much like what happened with Pujols when he hit 600, I just feel like it's been not talked about a lot, and people just don't care as much. And I just don't know, like, is it because I'm older and like maybe I don't care as much about baseball, or like, do we just not care about these career stats anymore? Do we only care about the like in moment stuff that happens, like when Tatis Jr. jumps 3 times in the air to catch something?
I mean, he's in Detroit. that's a big negative right there. He's in Detroit, but I do think it should be getting more press because
he's one of the best right-handed hitters of all time.
Well, yeah, and let's look at the other milestones we've had recently. So A-Rod, there was steroid controversy around there. Big Papi, there was the he never tested positive, but there was the positive test out there. Yeah. Pujols, I don't think ever was caught up in that, but there was rumors out there too. So Miggy, you really never heard about that, which again, I'd think you combine that with the fact that he was a Triple Crown winner, and you're right, probably the best right-handed hitter of our time.
He's up there, but I don't know that he's better than Manny.
Manny or Trout, yeah, I get it, but
he's one of the best. He's one of the best, and A-Rod, yeah, he's one of the best, yeah.
I think part of it is he's on a Detroit team right now that's really poor, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Matt has a point there. I think that like the MLB social media, they have been kind of talking about it and stuff, but there's just a lot going on. There's a lot of exciting players. There's exciting races going on. And the other part of it, and Colin, you mentioned Pujols, I think it's the same with him. Sadly, these guys, they shouldn't be major league starters anymore. Pujols and Miggy, they have both been underneath replacement level. They've been below replacement level for like a few years now. Like they're just not good major league players anymore. But they're legends, and we want to see them get to these big counting stats and everything because it's still something that's special in baseball. But I think that's part of it too. It's like I don't know what Miggy is this year, but he's probably around 0 WAR or -1 or something.
-0.4.
-0.4. So the idea with that then is that if Miggy got hurt and the Tigers called up some random guy from AAA who was not that good, that guy from AAA would be better by a little bit than Miggy in terms of like as a complete player. That's what that means.
And just for context, the past 3 years, he's been essentially replacement level, meaning that 0.1, 0.1, and 0.2 WAR.
Yeah. So, now, this is not to take away from him because, like we said, he's one of the greatest right-handed hitters of all time. He's been a joy to watch. I'm so glad that his career happened during our lifetimes. He's amazing. And the fact that he might also get 3,000 hits next year. To have 500 homers and 3,000 hits in a career has still only been done, 4 or 5 times in history? I mean, it's remarkably difficult to, even when you suck at the end of your career, to be able to play long enough and to still be able to do stuff long enough to hit those numbers. It's like Hank Aaron,
Ruth.
Eddie Murray.
No, not even Ruth.
I don't
A-Rod.
think Ruth. A-Rod. Is A-Rod one? A-Rod, Eddie Murray, Hank Aaron. Did Bonds get 3,000 hits? I don't know if he did. Actually.
Did Mays?
He did.
I can't remember if Mays did, but regardless, it's less than 5 people. So if Miggy gets that, I mean, it's hard to overstate the accomplishment that is. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I don't know. It just made me a little bit sad to think that he's been so good for so long, and they showed his 500th homer, and then it's like, okay, we're moving on, and I get it, it's Detroit, and like you said, he's old, but. I don't know, like when they show highlights of Mickey Mantle hitting his 500th homer, like the 3,000 fans that are at the stadium go freaking nuts. And it's like talked about as this big moment. And he had to have been just like Cabrera, not very good player on that team. When was it? 67, 68, at the end of his career. So
right, exactly.
Well, and that's the thing is Miggy was relatively controversy free. I mean, he was always considered to me. He was considered a good teammate. Ethan and I had second row witnesses, of him just, hamming it up with the opposing team, and talking with people in the stands.
Yeah, he was
laughing,
awesome. Was really
having
fun.
a good time. It was, even though we were playing him and, he's always a threat. It was fun to see that. It was really nice to see it. I don't know what he was yelling at that lady in the bleachers in Spanish,
they were,
but it was hilarious, and he was having a good time.
Yeah,
and she was having
smiling.
A good time.
She was smiling. It was great. And I just want to clarify real quick. I said that I'm surprised that there hasn't been controversy with him. The only reason for that is because if you look at pictures of him when he came up with the Marlins versus what he eventually looked like with the Tigers. I mean, it's like when you look at pictures of Bonds from his early days versus later. Dude got fucking really, really bulked up. I
need to look because right now to me he just looks chubby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think if you go a few years ago, I don't think it's as much chubby as much as just big, which is normal for this generation, but also
But
steroids are so
the
caught up in this
difference
generation.
with them though is that Miggy was looking that big by like 2008, 2009 when he was like 27, 28 years old, whereas Bond started looking like that when he was 34, 35 years old.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
And his head kept growing.
And his head kept growing. And now, like, you see Bonds nowadays, and his head is fucking shrunk. Like, it does not look the same. So.
Oh man, well, this is a great episode, guys. This is good. So yeah, let's end it now. Let's say goodbye, and we'll be back next week.
All right, bye everybody.
Adios, everyone.